can see, talking about the race that I went with Iriate. That race could have been kind of tricky race. I think certain people will watch it from one standpoint and think it's an easy race for that person that riding the horse. But the person already knowing it, it's not that easy. It's easy if you do all the right things. First thing I know in my mind in that race, I say yes, Iriate could win that race because I know how good I ride every day. Certain time they're going to let me exercise it. Not all the time because she tough on the pole, you know, she like to go in the front, so in exercise she don't pull in to go. They get a heavier dude now and again, they can tell me when they want me to go on it. So the day of that race, them guys, the owner and his cousin, the trainer back, when they reach to the paddock, they say, hey, you got a plan to ride her? I say, yeah. Okay, you ride her, you know she. Once you got a plan, we don't tell you much. You just try to move her, get out early. That's what you tell me, get out early. But one thing I had more in my mind, leaving this gate, is like what the trainer said, you have to get out early. That's number one. The second thing is make sure that you going down there in the front. You break this gate early and going down there in the front. That could cause you to don't win the race if you break the gate late with her, because she's a front running horse. If you break late, you're going to be going down there, using her, trying to get the lead from them, trying to get the lead. If you pass the grandstand and pass the finish line for the first time going down there, and you're not in the lead and you're fighting for the lead, I think to myself, I don't know about anyone else, but I think to myself, I will lose the race. I'm not going to lose the race. I'm not going to win the race. Excuse me, I'm not going to win the race. If I pass the grandstand by the winning pole for the first time, going a mile and 8 with Iriate, and I have to be fighting for the lead. No, you're setting up yourself for lose day. You have to break the gate early, get the horse in front. When you get the horse in front, settle it down. And when you come across the grandstand, that you have this horse well settled, coming across the crowd for the first time, you in the lead, that you have the horse settled down. And you're breathing in from the start, and you're going to race it in the end. When you hit the first turn, you make sure you got the horse well relaxed to make the first turn. When you head for the back stretch, you can get the horse on the right lead, and you start to let gallop, go up the lead, gallop, go up the back, gallop, go up the back stretch. Every now and again, you can take a peek to see where this gang is, that this gang don't run up on you without you knowing. That will cause you to lose the race too. When you keep that eye on them, and you're going into the 3/8 pole, you ask the horse to pick it up again. Ask her to pick it up, she did. The gang was behind her already, thinking that she going to ease up. When we go into the turn for home, just make sure to keep her on her run. When we turn for home, and we straighten up, I get her on the right lead again, ask her to pick it up to go down, she did. You can, with a horse like that, that's running, front running, you're not going to reach for the stick right away. You're going to start to use your hand going down to get the horse refreshing and get going. When the horse get going, you're going to swipe it with the stick then to let it to know you want more. The horse go answer and go. When the answer and go, you don't try kill it with the stick. No, you go back to your hand and you keep moving the horse. Next thing you know, you're going to look down quick because somebody's going to be coming. You look quick to see who coming, where they at. When I look down, the first thing I know that going to be the first horse I think when we come in was that one, Creation Rebel. I start to hit her again, hit her. So let she respond, and he started coming. I know, the guy know that I'm on the inside, so he gonna try to get me. He come on the outside. The first thing I think, I watch and know how he's riding. He's out there. Okay, good, he's out there. He's still riding, I keep her in front. Keep her and just try to maintain and try to keep her in the front of him to the wire. He start to get in close on me, in to come down on me. Right away. I know her so good to know that you pick up the stick and you hit on the left side, she gonna answer. So I pick up the stick, and I get it to the left and hit on the left side. Show her the stick, she respond, start to run, she respond. She just wouldn't let him go by for nothing. The guy kept hitting and hitting. This was Jackie from the States, so this Jackie came to ride Slevin for bait, but so happened that Mikey Duran get him to ride his horse, asked bait and bait let him ride. Okay, good Jackie, he could ride, he ride in the States. I rode in the States too and learned how to race ride. That's one thing I was good for the day when he matched up with me and the two of us was coming after him, that home stretch. I put the stick to my left and start to hit her, now not kill her with the stick, hit her and hand right, hit her, ask her, show her the stick and hand right. And she get there to the right in front of him. See with the race now, that close like that, most time the jockey does know, who get there in front, the both jockey, the other jockey and the race jockey just waiting to see if the stewards and the judges can look at the race and bring up the right winner. But they had a camera there and the stewards and the judges look at the race and bring up the right winner, Iriate. And I was glad for that. I can note to myself, the kind of ride I put on there, I could see that I win the race. When we that close, the jockey behind the horse head, you will have an idea who win. Certain time it might get frustrating for kind of tough for us to know exactly who wins between the two jockeys. That time it might be a dead heat.
Okay, I see you got a nice shot there. You know?
Yeah.
What does shot represent?
It represents a horse I used to ride in St. Thomas for a stable I used to ride in St. Thomas when I go there. For the trainer, Spectre. Good guy. I rode and win a bunch of races for Spectre. I win here for Spectre, I win in St. Thomas. I rode Emmeline for Spectre in St. Thomas. I rode Overpayment for Spectre, I win both horses. I rode He's a Firecracker right here for Spectre in St. Croix, win. I rode Emmeline right here in the Christmas Day Sprint in St. Croix, win. Take the St. Thomas horse and win right here in St. Croix. I rode Rocal for Mr. Gottlieb, St. Thomas horse. Take it and win right here in St. Croix.
So question, is there ever a time where you don't want to ride a horse because you don't like how it perform, or you don't take any job you get?
Yeah, I'm concerned about that. Certain times the horse don't like to stay on the ground. He always up in the no, I don't want to be on the horse. Because you go run into problem. Racing and riding horses, I run into couple injuries well. And riding now in the last of the career, you just try to be careful, watch what you ride, you know, what the horses you ride. So in the beginning, when you're hungry to riding horses and you're young, you don't know the game that much, so you're going to want to ride anything, everything. When times go by, the time that you ride, you remember you're learning, you're getting experience, and you're going to be using that experience. You're going to say, no, not this, not that, like before, because you know. And all of us, we like that sport, all of us. It's a nice sport, but you know how it could be at certain times. It could get rough. So you try to always don't let it get rough on you, you know. You try to go by and try, don't let it get rough on you, no time. When it still could get rough because it's horse racing. The one thing I will know too, if I could remember, without this track here, being it's in a standstill and not moving, they have a man here, came from St. Thomas, Carabel, the people that have the track, they have a man came here from St. Thomas. He's supposed to do the running surface. The man is still living here. I see him about 2 weeks ago, driving the truck that, I don't know if they gave him that truck or he brought it. But he's still here, and the last time, not the last time, but before then I saw him, and when I speak with him, he told me, yes, he's here because he's waiting for when the track open, he's going to be doing the running surface, taking care of the running surface. He was taking care of the one in St. Thomas, and he need to come here to take care of it. But no walking start yet. The track hasn't opened yet for he get to do that.
I don't know why they keep lying to us. They don't know the tracking will be ready no time now. They're saying they're doing this, they're doing that. I gone down there, the track is the same bad condition, not an improvement. I know why they're lying to us. They got man got 9 horses out there, 9 colt, and spending money and can't get them horses to go. By the time they're ready for the track to open, the horse going to be 10 and 12 years old. Not buying fool in a young colt, them kind of age. And that's it. Tell me, they're taking half the galvanize them, half the roof and all sorts of things. Man, not a thing being done down there. They say they cut in the yard just like the thing cut. A joke, man.
And before we had started, you were talking about your accomplishments. Can you go ahead and tell me what your accomplishment was?
Well, I tell you my accomplishment was, I was doing good horse racing because my mare, she never lost. She run 5 races, she win the 5. When I get ready to move up in class now, that's when the track closed down, you know. And horse racing was my life because after I retired, I on to do just stay home in the house.
Which mare was that?
Caribbean Music. Okay. Yeah, a chestnut. Yep. The one I was Calvin Lewis. You know. Yeah.
Could you talk about your past? You mentioned something about you were dealing with something for James, or had something with
when.
So let's say with some has your naming before, like you used to do back in the day.
Oh, Sherry Thunder.
Yeah.
That's the mare for Lodge. She had gone to Miami. She never went in Miami yet. When we get her to run. The farthest we have run in Miami is a 6 furlong, and we get her to run a mile, we get her to run a 7 furlong. You know. And it was good. But I don't know. I don't think horse racing could never come back to the standard way it was before. That's how it is. And that's that for me.
As far as looking for the chain of events
Correct.
that led to some of the kids in...
Eventually that's going down, because I think the track are closed.
Yes.
Then people go to the track and run.
Right. We were still using
Right.
the facilities.
And then that got stopped.
We
and
were
then
running some match races at the track. That finally got stopped, which is too bad. It's just a loss of facilities. There were good stables. The surface was still usable. And then that pushed everybody, when that got shut down, that pushed everybody back into the bush. And I think that the guys who brought up Williams Delight and who built that, I think they did a good job on it. Some of them are very, very, very well educated in horses. I know one in particular went to Cornell University to the farrier program there, very well educated, good leader locally. And it's just too bad that we have that much local talent that's not allowed to participate and to show what they know in a sanctioned environment on this island, that the government felt they had to go in and shut them down.
Okay. And you just said something about the government shutting them down. So basically, the horse racing didn't stop because of Maria. It was actually stopped because of the business.
Correct. I think that VIGL used Maria as a huge scapegoat to say why they weren't doing any construction, but they hadn't been doing anything in the year that they had the contract leading up to Maria. Maria was a while ago now, and we still haven't seen much out of them.
Okay. And what was your impression of the hearing, the subpoena that I had run into you with?
Oh my goodness, what a day of talking that felt like we got nowhere by the end of the day. It felt like everybody just airing grievances that were dating back to the 80s and misstatements and misinterpretations of different parts of the lease from the government, from Port Authority, from the airport. Everybody's got their own interpretation and spin on the lease and who owes it and when they owe it. But it seems like nothing came out of that other than how many times VIGL has not fulfilled any of the contractual obligations. And VIGL was put on the spot. If you don't start construction by the end of the month, which is now last month, are you willing to give up the rights to this contract? And they wouldn't answer the question. We still don't know the answer to that question. Where do we, as the U.S. Virgin Islands, fall under the 1985 Horse Racing Act that outlines gaming and entertainment and wagering, all of those factors? I'm pretty sure it was 1985 that it went into effect in the mainland. Where do we, as the Virgin Islands, fall under that? I asked that question back in, well, when Traxco was still our promoter, so it would have been back in 2015, 2016, just before they lost the contract. I asked that question in a meeting with Governor Mapp, and haven't gotten an answer to that question yet. Where do we fall under those guidelines? Are we subject to the guidelines of the U.S.? We're a territory, gaming and entertainment, wagering, betting at the track, the Racino license. Where exactly are we legally in that act? One other aspect we were just discussing is the loss of local money. JC Feed, S&D Feed, they were like the social hubs of our world, and the money that went in and out, feed shops, hay, it's just all gone. all the exercise riders, all the jockeys that we were able to keep employed, all the grooms, all the assistant trainers, all of it. It's just all that local money is not circulating for this many years without the racetrack in operation.
Yeah, my brother, when it comes to our track here, I can't tell you nothing about this track here. I don't say try to follow our track. You know what I mean? It's so much promises, and like I said, we own a house right now. Our house in St. Thomas. And right now we going through what we gotta go through with that, you know what I mean? But like for now, I just holding it down and just seeing what's going on because I got house in Puerto Rico too. You understand? And I know the differences. But I don't say nothing because it don't make no sense to say nothing wrong here. Just take what's going on and just deal with it. That's all I could tell you, deal with it. Because it's just a heap of promises, a heap of rumors. You know, people, and I don't say no one to tell you, my brother. Yeah.
Okay. Blessings, this indie, most everybody know me with Pizza Boy, you know? But yeah, this indie. Right now, my thing has race, is really my thing. This is what my house here once upon a time. Should be passed and so on. Right now, we need back something for we to do horse race, our culture. Everything is horse race. That's what I raise up on. A lot of my friends, family raise up on. So we really have nothing to do, man. So the truck just done a hold up for every minute a hold up. The start, VHL stop. Check government take it back now. So we'll see what's going on, but that's time, I guess, man. That's all this time. We need our truck, man. Check. Man, yeah, barely now I can walk my house, lose a little weight. I can't do nothing now. Check. Yeah. So it is.
So state some of your accomplishments and your has them. Just point around one there.
Okay, I had a has them when they win the Congressional's Cup, which is the Stacy Plaskett Cup. I win some good race out there. I hadn't raced has before. You take your blows. Which right now I have a little stallion. He just make one in January. Every January 1st I has to make birthday, so he just make one. I got next year in fall. I have a breeding stallion, so has is basically my thing. You check, I'm like, okay, breeding has. We can't see them to run. We can't get them to run, but we ain't gonna truck. You check, so I just hope now the government get a truck now. All they gotta do is do what they gotta do, so like the next year or two, we get horse race again, man. That's all I see, man.
What are your thoughts on the documentary?
Oh boy, it was interesting to say the least. Yes, I did look at the documentary from Kings to Pond. It was captivating. It described a lot. It informed on a lot of different things that haven't been spoken about in the community, and I give it a thumbs up.
Yes, hi. That was very informative. I learned a lot about the Virgin Islands, specifically the St. Croix horse race. Coming from New York, I never really, I was around Belmont Stakes and things like that, but to come here and see the locals and see how the local patronage and the people really, it's part of their culture. Families going in, having family friends that own horses. I learned a lot, and I just pray and hope that the powers that be see this local video, and try to bring it back to St. Croix. It's very important for the culture.
My thoughts on your documentary is, I think it's well put together, and I think you got some meaningful players in the horse racing business involved. I like the interview with Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown put it together. Mr. Brown is a horse racing enthusiast. I'm older than him, and I remember from like in the 60s when his father used to run horse. Dennis was probably a young little boy then in the 60s. I would gallop in all then, and today to see that he was in charge of our business, but he's no longer there, and he meant well for horse racing, and a lot of us didn't take our time to understand where he was coming from, but I would say ask, because that is a part of everything. But I understood myself personally where he was coming from. I understand what he was trying to do for us. Okay? Thank you.
From Kings to Ponds, Part 2.
Checkmate, currently in production.